It's insane.
How y'all doing? I'm Paul Ryan, your host of the Across the Cowboys podcast. If you're new to the show, thank you for joining us. And to our regular listeners, welcome back. With me, as always, is my co-host, the greatest co-host in the world, Mike the Pig Crumb. Mike, how are you?
Doing good, man. It's that time. It's that time of year, and so a lot of work, but man, it's fun.
Yeah, Mike. Before we get into it, remind the people they can find you on Twitter, sir.
At CD Piglet, guys, nice and easy.
Guys, I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. Mike, here we are, our fourth annual Cowboys Mock Draft. Can you believe this is our fourth year? This is the first episode of season 4, but can you believe we're heading into year 4 of this podcast, man?
Yeah, our first one was the CeeDee Lamb year, huh?
Yes.
It's insane. CeeDee Lamb, Trayvon Diggs in that draft, then Micah Parsons. Now
and that draft.
Huh?
And that was a good draft too.
Oh, yeah. And then Tyler Smith and Sam Williams and Bland. Like, ever since we came on, we kind of been killing drafts. I'm just saying, maybe they're watching and taking note. You're welcome, Will McClay.
Yes, sir. I'm sure he watches the pod religiously, Mike.
Oh, yeah. They talk about it all the time. When he comes on the break with Nick Eatman and them, they're like, yeah, you guys need to talk to them at the Across the Cowboys podcast. Thank you, Mr. Will McClay. I
want to say something so bad, but it's going to spoil something else, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut. But, man, I had mentioned a couple of weeks ago that there is a guest that's going to come on, and I still think they're going to come on, but, they didn't come on to do an episode like I had planned, but man, I really think that would have been a shocker to not just to you, but to the audience as well.
That's all right. We can still have them come on. Maybe they can discuss the draft and what we have to do going forward. Instead of just with a mock draft.
But I imagine, man, people that from the draft show and things like that, I'm sure those people get tired of doing mock drafts, honestly, and talking about it and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So it's definitely somebody from a draft show then.
So I'm curious, Mike, do you have, I'm going off script here, but looking back, I mean, I do remember that first episode. We were of course, doing our mock draft, and you had mentioned on the show that we had our picks that we thought it was going to be. And then you had said, if CeeDee Lamb is there, we're going to take him. And, that's exactly what happened, man. That's kind of crazy to think about.
It's funny because when we did the dream draft, we told everybody, we're trying to make it kind of realistic. We're not going to just say CeeDee Lamb, because if he's there, we're going to draft him, but he's not going to be there. Yeah. And then we're all watching, I remember when it started, every tweet, Chase on. I want to Chase on the edge.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm like, just nobody take Chase on. I really like this kid. And I know he hasn't done anything for the Jags. It might have been different for us. You know what I mean? Like he may not have been happy. He may not have been in the right system. He may not have been coached up right. We don't know. It's that easy in the NFL, the difference between busting and being a guy. And I'm counting him down, and then we start going, and I'm like, wait, no, wait. Nobody takes CeeDee Lamb. I didn't want us to get there, and CeeDee Lamb's there, and we take Chase on, and everybody blames me for saying, come on, Chase on the whole time. So I switched it up in the last 3 picks and was like, take CeeDee Lamb.
Dude, I will never forget how loud I screamed when we selected CeeDee Lamb, dude. That was insane.
It was one of those all-time moments, and he's been excellent, but last year was the old school third-year leap that a lot of receivers are skipping now. Yeah. But when you have an Amari Cooper and a Gallup and you got to work yourself in and everything, man, did he take that leap. He's one of the best now coming into this season. He's one of the easily top 10 receivers in this league.
Absolutely. It's funny. You think about it. Here we are in year 4, right? But year 1, we didn't think they'd take the guy we'd hoped without, CeeDee Lamb would fall. He did. Then nobody wanted Micah Parsons. They take him. And look at what he's done. And then nobody had any idea except for Mel Kiper, I believe, and a couple of other people knew who was going to take Tyler Smith. We weren't thrilled with that pick either, but here we are going into year 4, and it's like we hear some names, but there's so many names. It's like we don't even know. It doesn't seem like anybody has a really good idea of who the Cowboys are going to take.
This has been the most wide open one, definitely since we started, easily. So we're going to talk about it, but I'm ready.
You mentioned it's wide open, Mike. Is there a player you could see the Cowboys trading up for?
Not for me. I don't want to move up for anybody. I want my picks. I'm up for the move back, but there's not that guy. Like, I look through and I see holes in everybody, and the ones I don't see holes in are like, yeah, there's good ones. Like you know me with the running back position, but just for example, say running back was, in my mind, we'd take him.
Yeah.
Well, with Bijan, I would be like, well, I don't want to move up for Bijan because I'd rather wait. If Bijan doesn't land, there's 3, 4, 5 other running backs I'll take in the other rounds.
Exactly.
Same with like Peter Skoronski.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's great, but do I want to move up, give up 2 picks for him, or just take Steve Avila, or Michael Schmitz in the next round? It's just not that guy for me. I'm not a move up guy this year.
What I wouldn't mind seeing, Mike, is if the Cowboys were to trade back and maybe get another first-round pick next year. Of course, I don't know how far they'd have to move back for that to happen. Probably out of round 2 into like early round 3. I don't know how crazy I would be about that, but that's a fun thought to think about them having 2 first-round picks next year.
Man, I really want them to get – I like the players between like 40 and 100.
Yeah.
I would like them to pick up one more – because I just feel like they're going to use a pick on a quarterback, which makes sense, get a backup. So that's 6 picks now that you have. Do you need to use one on a kicker or not? I don't know. But that could be down to 5 picks.
Yeah.
If you do, And I just feel like they need an extra pick or 2. And I think that's a real possibility as a trade back in this draft.
Maybe I should have started off with this question, Mike. That would have been a perfect transition. But do you like not knowing who the Cowboys are taking?
It has its pluses and minuses. Like, for article writing, I probably have to do something like, where does this player fit in the depth chart, type of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't really prepare. Typically there's 2-3 people, and I kind of do a outline of all of them, and then just kind of plug it in depending on who they pick. And this one was just this one's like, there's too many people to outline. Like, right. I'm just gonna wait. It's too much work to do so much on all those. And then if they have another out of nowhere pick, then I'm like, damn, I did outlines on 8 people, and that wasn't even one of the ones they went and got.
Right. What's interesting about this, not only do we not know who the Cowboys are going to take, but it seems like for the first time in a long time, the first 5 picks are really unpredictable this year as well.
I agree. I think Bryce Young's pretty locked in now.
Yeah.
The one, but I do not believe there are people plugged in with the Texans that know them well that do not believe a quarterback's going second. That could be a smokescreen for a trade or whatever, but
yeah.
I have my theories. We'll actually get into them in this podcast. And I think they are going to pick an edge. And then do the Cardinals allow somebody to give them a shit ton to come get CJ Stroud? Do they pick the second best edge or Jalen Carter? I feel like that second pick is the catalyst to how this draft falls for the first 10 picks.
Yeah, I agree. I just heard a rumor that it sounds like the Texans are, again, of course, this could be a smokescreen. This is lying season we're in right now. But that Will Levis might be the pick that they take. And it's crazy to me to think that C.J. Stroud has fallen so far after that, what is it, the SQ test, I believe it's what it's called. I'm thinking, what if he falls to Atlanta, man? That'd be a great steal for them.
He's having he's had issues with his intelligence testing, and when you're a QB,
decision making is everything.
Everything will affect you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I know we talked about quarterbacks a while ago, Mike, but I don't remember what you said about C.J. Stroud. I mean, did you think that any of the rumors that are going on now? Did you think any of that was an issue?
I know when we talked about it, I said I'd take CJ Stroud first because they're both basically the same, but CJ Stroud has the bigger. I would probably go Bryce Young now. CJ Stroud would still be my 2. They're still really close, but the intelligent testing exits out the size thing.
Yeah.
So they both have that one issue. So I'm gonna take the guy who I think's just ahead as a processor and stuff like that. So I would probably flip it and take Bryce Young first and CJ Stroud as the second guy.
Yeah. So back to the question, Mike, about, do you like not knowing who the Cowboys are taking? For me, I do, because, just in the years past when we knew we were going to take LVE, when we knew we were going to take Micah Parsons, things like that, it leaves a little bit more excitement for the draft, because not only, usually the first 3 or 4 picks are already well known, and then you already know the Cowboys. So it's kind of, I don't know, sometimes in the first round, I'm a little bored, honestly, a little bit. But not knowing what the Cowboys are going to do and not knowing what's going to happen after pick 1, it creates a little bit more excitement for me.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I remember the Parsons draft. Everybody had them penciled in taking a corner. And then the corners got picked right before us.
Yeah.
And then everybody was like, God, please take Rashawn Slater. Me, and I wasn't even Rashawn Slater. I didn't really like Slater or Parsons. So it shows how much y'all should listen to me. Damn, who did I want?
From the Lions, right? The left tackle from the Lions?
That was Sewell. He was
was it him, right? Oh, was he?
Yeah, what? Damn, I can't remember. There was another. I wanted to trade back. I wanted to do the trade that the Giants did. That was I wanted to trade back with the Bears and then take like the one kid who was a good corner, but he was too injured. He even got injured in real life. He was drafted first round, Caleb something or something like that. But I remember that's what I wanted to do. But man, I'm glad they just picked the best player. That is a McCarthy thing. Lamb was the best player, picked him. Micah Parsons was the best player, picked him. They felt like Tyler Smith was the best player on their board. In a redraft now, he was taken 8th overall. Maybe they were right.
Yeah.
Picked him. So I'm interested to see who the best player on their board is this upcoming draft.
A lot of Cowboys nations might not remember this, but we actually did trade back and we still landed Micah Parsons, Mike.
That's right. We traded so the Eagles could jump the Giants for Devontae Smith.
Yeah. Man, it's crazy to think about.
Yeah, and now we have to deal with Devontae, but it's crazy. The Giants fell back, and then took Kadarius Toney, who they then traded.
I know, man, crazy.
Not great.
So, we mentioned that Will McClay's a big fan of the show, Mike, and you look at the last 3 years, kind of being unpredictable as far as them taking players we didn't think they would from schools we didn't think that they would ever target. But do you think this front office is getting smarter?
Yeah. I mean, Cooks and Stephen Gilmore, look at the trades they made there, bringing back Donovan Wilson. Can't tell me they would make a move like that. They would have just said, you know what? I'm not paying $8 million a year to a safety.
Right.
I got Kurtz for a year. I got Hooker for a year. We got Izzy. We got Marquise Bell. We have the draft. We'll let him move on, get $8 million somewhere else, and we'll pick up a comp pick. No, Dan Quinn said, no, we need him, and they kept him.
What a crazy year, because they've had so many good drafts in our 3 years of this pod, but this is like the first off season where it's like, holy cow, man, like we're actually doing something.
Yeah, Eagles and Niners are both monster teams, but we have defenses. We have a defense that could be equal to the Niners. They're better than the Eagles as of right now.
Yeah.
If the offense rebuilds right and Michael Gallup comes back, the offense could be equal to anything anyone has except maybe Philly, but our defense and special teams could be better. So, I mean, you may end up being if things fall right in the draft, you might end up being the best team in the NFC going into the year.
So what is it about the Eagles offense that you like more than Dallas's as of today?
The O-line is far
Line.
superior.
Gotcha.
Far.
That makes sense.
And Goddard, as much as I like Ferguson and Hendershot, Goddard's a known guy. Devontae Smith is ascending.
Yeah.
AJ Brown and Lamb both are top guys. There's no reason. Oh, this one's better. They're both badasses. That don't matter.
Right. Yeah.
But you're going to take Devontae Smith over Cooks, and this isn't a shot on Cooks. Obviously, he's 1,000 yards with everybody. It's just Devontae Smith's ascending. He's in his third year. Cooks, you're hoping stays healthy.
Right.
You're hoping he hasn't lost a step. Devontae Smith, there's no worry about that. He's young. He should be healthy. Anything can happen there, but he's not older. He's ascending, So it goes into, can our offense, can we get a left guard that brings our offensive line at least in that same area? Is Pollard healthy? And how does Gallup come back? Because where we may not match them as two wides, if we get that third wide, that could negate Goddard and make it about the running backs. And right now, assuming they don't get by Bijan, and maybe even if they do, if Pollard's healthy, I'm going to take Pollard over the running backs they have now for sure.
Yeah. So, what were your thoughts on over the weekend? There were some rumors that Henry was going to be traded to Philly. I mean, what were your thoughts there? What would he do to their offense?
I don't think he fits the style of running that they want to do. What's up, Jay? I don't think he fits that shotgun, fake the handoff, then one goes or the other goes. I worry more about a speed, agility guy than a power guy there. That's why I tell people, I'm like, I kind of want Eagles to take Bijan at 10.
Yeah.
I just don't like the value of running back there. What scares me for them is if they were able to get like a Nolan Smith at 10 to help their defense, and then later in the draft they get a Tajay Spears or something like that where you're like, Jesus Christ, behind that offensive line, and they got two top defenders to reload their defense at 10 and 30. If they get a running back, it's like, okay, well, their offense is already beast. It's just harder to stop. You got a great defense. You're going to stop them a few times, no matter who they have out there. Our defense is going to get a couple stops or a turnover, and then it'll be on, can their defense stop our offense? So I don't want them rebuilding that defense.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you just said, Mike, but if they were to add a guy like Derrick Henry, I understand he might not fit what their offense does. But when you make a move for a player like that, you're going to maximize his strengths. And I wouldn't be surprised if he broke LT's TD record, man, with an offense like that.
That wouldn't be bad, but I'm telling you, they would probably do the Jalen Hurt QB sneak would take a lot of his stuff. Now he would be even better at that play as far as pushing Hurts, big ass Henry back there pushing him. Jesus.
Yeah, that would be crazy. So Jason Garrett has a question, Mike. Don't answer it. He's asking, are we doing a mock? Hey, Jason, you're going to have to watch the show and find out, my friend.
Yeah, we're in the fourth year of this thing, man. The first episode we ever did was this same one we're doing today. So now we know we love having you because we see you every week, but we know how new you are now. And you'll see coming up.
You won't be disappointed, Jason. That's all I'll say, my friend. So, Mike, we've talked a lot about their first-round pick, but when you look at the caliber of player Dallas might select there at 26, should they play it safe or shoot for upside with this team?
All right, let me ask you something. If you were these are the only two you could pick at 26. You want Michael Mayer, tight end out of Notre Dame, or do you want Darnell Washington, tight end out of Georgia?
Darnell, baby, come on.
Yeah, and that's my answer. I believe that the play it safe guy is Mayer, and if they get him, it's a damn good pick, and he's going to help the offense, and he's going to do it in a way that they like, where you block, you get open on third down for first downs.
Yeah,
you bring a little bit more dynamic ability than Schultz, but not much, and it's a good safe pick. For me, I'm looking at the 6'7" monster that could be an extra offensive tackle in the run game, and it hasn't proven it, but has all the dynamic ability to be at worst, a great runner and a red zone threat, but at best, the next Rob Gronkowski. So I'm going upside.
Yes, I mean, for me, if it came down like Michael Mayer, again, I know everybody that's smart says that's a good pick. It's a safe pick. He's going to help you. He's Jason Witten 2.0. Yeah, I understand that Witten's in the Hall of Fame, and he was a great pick here in Dallas. He was a great player for Dallas. But if it were me, man, I'd rather just take a guard like, Avila, if we're going to make a pick like that, like a Mayer type pick, and just let Dak go back to dealing like we saw in 2021 because, man, we saw those first 8 weeks, dude, what Dak was capable of. And give me that over, I don't know, I guess I would rather see Dak feeling confident in his offensive line than giving him another weapon that isn't really, I don't want to say not a playmaker, but doesn't scare you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it totally does. But the thing about Mayer is he is everything plus Jake Ferguson. So what Jake Ferguson will eventually be able to do, Mayer does better right now.
Right.
But not like above that. Like he's about the playmaker Ferguson is. He's a much better blocker, but blocking. Darnell Washington's a much, much better, but like he's elite blocker.
Yeah.
Mayer's like he improves you from Ferguson. Like he has a better feel. He has better hands. He's better at getting open. He does all those little things, but he's not going to do anything more than that. He's very, very safe. And I just don't feel like I want that out of my 26th pick, my first round.
Yeah.
And I like him, but I agree with you. I'd rather just take the guard and whatever Mayer would be, Ferguson could become within this year or next year.
And when you look at their last 3 first-round picks, I think it's fair to say that they did shoot for upside.
I agree. Tyler Smith, Michael Parsons, CeeDee Lamb. Yeah. And I believe that looking back, now we didn't think so at the time, Tyler Smith, I always thought he'd be a good player. I thought he'd take a couple years.
Yeah.
So I didn't like the value, but I said 100 times, in 2 years, you're not going to care where you drafted Tyler Smith. He's going to be a good player. But if you look at it, he might have been the best player on the board. Micah was definitely the best player on the board. CeeDee Lamb, unless you say Justin Jefferson, was the best player on the board. And he was definitely thought of much higher than Justin Jefferson was on everyone's board. They had CeeDee Lamb above him. So, they've been doing a good job of going best player available.
Yeah, Jason Garrett has some thoughts here on Mayer. He said Mayer is fast enough to get down the seam. Do you agree with that, Mike?
Oh yeah, he could do that fine. He's not going to beat the best guys at it. What's his name? Friggin' was staying with CeeDee Lamb down the seam. That's Mayer's game is not really going to be down the seam. That's a Dalton Kincaid. That's a Musgrave type. Mayer is going to be very possession-like, find open holes in the zones, beat man coverage, get separation, but not on deep posts and seams and stuff like that. He's going to be your 3rd and 6, get you 6.5 yards guy.
Gotcha. All right, Mikey, here we are at pick 26. These 2 players on the clock. You have to pick one of these 2. It's Bijan Robinson or Michael Mayer at pick 26. Who are you taking?
This was the toughest one, and I honestly, I even scratched out on my notes. I had put one, then the other. I really wouldn't be excited about either.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't be disappointed with either. They'd both help the team, especially in the short term, but I wouldn't be like jump for joy. I picked Mayer, and this is funny because here's my reasoning. Robinson's a better prospect, but I never grade a running back with the first-round grade.
Yeah.
I just don't. Every running back starts with a second-round grade for me. I just don't believe in the longevity of the position.
Yeah.
So then it was, do I have a first-round grade on Mayer? Not kind of. I do. I think he's a first-round player, but his upside is like I wouldn't take him in the top 20. So
So 26 is kind of the sweet spot for him then.
26 is around the spot where I wouldn't be like, hell yeah, we got him. But I would be like, it feels like this is what I said this on Twitter too. I feel like if the Ravens had the 26th pick and they picked Michael Mayer, everyone would go, friggin' Ravens, dude. They just sit there and Michael Mayer falls to him and they just take him. And now they have this guy who's going to plug and play tight end for the next 8 to 10 years.
Right.
And it gets praised. But when it's Dallas, it's like, but all we got is Michael Mayer. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
Okay. And so I went Mayer, but I think that Bijan is the better player. He just is. He's just a much better player.
And I think he'd be such a better fit for this team.
I know, but like I would rather get Mayer. If you made me get both, I would because Kavanaugh would take Bijan over Michael Mayer.
No question.
Jason Garrett in a second. He'd take
without
Bijan over Mayer. He does not believe in Mayer at all because of his testing, and it's a fair argument. My thing is, I look at the draft and I'm like, dude, Kendra Miller and Tajay Spears and Roshan Johnson are one of those probably going to be available in the 4th round.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be sitting there in the 4th round going, why did I take a running back in the 1st round? Look at who's available in the 4th. Whereas I don't believe the tight ends are like, once they get past the first 2 picks, if you're not taking a tight end, get one for the practice squad or for special teams. But none of those guys, none of the 4th, 3rd, 4th round guys are going to beat out Jake Ferguson and Hendershot.
Yeah.
So unless you're getting Musgrave, Kincaid, Mayer, Darnell Washington, one of those, I don't really even want a tight end. I know that it's a deep class, but if we traded back maybe and got an extra pick, but I don't really need one. McEwen, Ferguson, Hendershot would be fine.
You know what's funny is I would no question take Bijan of the 2 at 26, but I could see myself like we take Mayer at 26 and then we take Tippmann at 50, pick 58, and then we take Tajay Spears at pick 90. I'm like, dude, this offense is gonna be fun. You know what I mean? It would depend on how the rest of the draft went, but Bijan Robinson would be my pick. But at the same time, if we took Mayer, I'd be like, okay, well, let's see what else they plan on doing because I could see myself like feeling better about the pick.
Remember that when we get to our mocks and the way that I do the dream scenario.
Right.
Remember that's where my head is. When I look at it, when I look at this, I see the real best fit for guard is 2nd round. I see the best fit for running back is like 4th round.
Right.
I see a linebacker at maybe 90 if the right one, so that's how I put it together looking at like, man, if you look at the depth of this draft, I could get good guys at this position here, good guys at this position here, good guys at this position here. So that's how I set up my 1st round.
I got you. All fair, man. I'm excited to hear it, Mike. Let's see. Jason Garrett, he likes Zach Kuntz. He's was it Kuntz?
Kuntz, you just want to be dirty, you freak.
How I pronounce it.
Well, is that the tight end or the guard? I can't remember.
I believe he's a tight end.
Okay, later.
I want to say they were talking about him on the draft show a couple episodes ago. Forgive my pronunciation there, guys. I do apologize.
It's
Mike,
close.
we know.
I just noticed you put your name in Zach Martin 2.0. How did I just notice that? That's brilliant.
All right, so Mike, we know that guard is a position that needs to be addressed. I think it's a need. It's a must address position. Is there another position you think needs to be addressed in the draft?
I'm gonna say no on need.
Oh, okay.
I just don't see a need. I think like if Ferguson and Hendershot are your tight ends, you'll survive if your offensive line, if your left guards or your offensive line is good enough.
Yeah.
I think your wide receivers are good enough. Quarterback obviously is good. You got Cooper Rush back. Bland, J. Diggs, Izzy, Gilmore, is pretty good. You have 4 or 5 deep safety. So I looked through and I went running back, tight end, wide receiver could all improve because you can get a better running back number 2. You
Yeah.
can get a better tight end number 1. You could get another rotational receiver that can maybe, if Gallup's not ready, take his spot or take Tolbert's. So they could be improved, but it's not needed.
Right.
I see depth at defensive tackle and linebacker as necessary. But if you go starters, Hankins and Osa, pretty good. You got Bohanna and hopefully Gallimore in a contract year steps up. Golston moves in there, so it's not bad. LVE, Clark. You still need to see what Cox is. You have Harper to replace Gifford. You know, like you could survive there. You're not bad. You could use some depth. And then I put cornerback, safety, and edge could be huge needs in 2024.
Right.
So you know, that's I don't see a need. I see them being able to draft. They're going to have to get, you know, another running back. They're going to have to get a guard.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not something that's like, oh, man, if we don't get these, we're screwed. I'd say the closest thing to that would be a running back because Tony Pollard needs somebody to run with him this year. And then next year he's probably gone. And we want to kind of have the replacement groom. So that would be the closest to a need.
Yeah, for me, I was going to go linebacker, Mike, because we know LVE's injury history. I mean, Damone Clark, a year removed from surgery on his spine. And then you mentioned Jabril Cox. There's a question mark there. And then Harper, I'm not going to lie, I didn't even know that he was on the team. I don't know who that is. Who was that?
Special teams guy, speed guy that got injured last year but looked really good in training camp in the preseason, and I think he's going to be your Luke Gifford replacement.
I like that. Well, I mean, you know, we definitely need some depth there, but we're one LVE injury away. I mean, we saw what happened to this team when LVE is out, and you know, I believe in Damone Clark, especially after what we saw last year. But I would like to have another guy who could come right in and, you know, is going to be in the rotation, if not a starter immediately. You know,
I agree. I have a guy that I like there. But I think by the end of the 2023 season, Damone Clark will be the better linebacker than LVE. That is
interesting. I will not be mad about that. I promise you. So there's a lot of discussion about a trade back, Michael. What is the farthest you think Dallas would trade back from 26?
38 would be my guess to the Raiders. That would be my predictions. I don't think they want to go more past 38. Now, I think the Titans are at 41. And if Garrett knows what's up. And if Titans blew them away with an offer to move up, then I could see maybe that. But that would probably have to be a pretty big offer if they were going to move back out of the top 40.
So what? Okay, so they trade back to 48. I mean, what are they getting in return?
Aren't the Titans 41?
I mean, 41. Sorry, I thought you said 48 for some reason.
They'd have to get something big, like probably maybe a first next year, and then like a fourth, third or fourth this year would be my guess.
Man, so a second this year, in addition to maybe your third or fourth, and then their first next year, that'd be amazing, dude.
Yeah, if you're dropping back like that, because if they're moving up there, it'd be for a quarterback,
right?
And that would be, you know, the quarterback tax. You want us to drop back that far so you can get your guy? You better, you know, pony up.
Who do you think is more likely to fall back that far? Would it be Will Levis or C.J. Stroud at this point?
We'll talk about it on the mock draft.
Oh, okay, all right. I like that, Mike. Yeah, I mean, I would. God, I mentioned earlier about Dallas potentially trading back and getting a first-round pick. How much I'd love to have 2 first-round picks next year. I'd almost rather them do that than make the pick at 26. To be totally honest with you.
Yeah, there's enough guys from like 26 to 40 that are so similar that a trade back just seems very logical.
I heard that there was a discussion that if they were to move back to 40, that there was another edge player. I guess it's from North Carolina. I forget his name. That I believe it was. a gentleman from the draft show, Zach Wolchuk, who actually liked him more than Will McDonald.
Damn, I'm thinking who that would be. From North Carolina. It's not the Isaiah guy.
Maybe I have the school wrong, but I thought it was North Carolina.
I could go through. Here's the thing I'm doing. I just did an article on my top 5 offensive players.
Yeah.
So offense is running through the head more than defense, especially for Dallas right now. Clearly they're going to have an offensive level draft. So, that's I can't picture who it is right now.
No worries. But yeah, man, I love that scenario you presented there with the trade back, Mike. You look at this draft, and it's not often that you should let your division rivals, let it affect your draft. But let's say that the Eagles, they go on and they get a Jackson Smith-Njigba, who is apparently rumored to be going to them. And, we see the Commanders, they look into a quarterback, and then we see the Giants take like a Quentin Johnson type. I mean, and, here comes pick 26, and there's like Will McDonald and let's just, I'll say for Steve Avila. Could you see them going with the defensive player over the offensive guy just because of what the rivals did?
No, I don't see that. The only way the rivals will impact Dallas's draft is if they take one of the guys that were on their board.
Yeah.
And so they have to fall back. Like, say the Cowboys were like, Michael Mayer was their guy, or a receiver, Jalen Hyatt, and the Giants at 25 took one of them, or took the one they wanted.
Yeah.
Then they would have to adjust to the draft. But I don't think it'll if they have Avila higher than McDonald, they're just going to take Avila.
I got you. But what if they have 2 players ranked the same, and one on offense, one on defense?
It's likely they would go then to what can they – so let's say McDonald and Avila, right? Yeah. Exact same scores, right? I think they would go, okay, what can we get at 58 at guard? Tipton, Schmidt, Bergeron. What can we get at edge? Not a Will McDonald. So then they might go Will McDonald, and they kind of did that. And I know it's not a good thing. Let's just switch it and say they were smart and got TJ Watt. The reason they went defensive end is because they looked and said, well, they got Cheeto. They have a lot of cornerback options later. Why don't we do defensive end here and then get the corner, even though I believe they had the corner rated King, maybe, was rated higher than Taco or Watt.
Yeah.
Because Watt wasn't really on their board because Rod Marinelli. So I think, I think they would go Will McDonald in that scenario.
Is that the pick you'd prefer too, though, Will McDonald over Avila?
Damn. Can I trade back? Because that would be my ideal.
I got you. But if you have to pick of the 2, Avila or Will McDonald at pick 26, who are you taking?
I really like Avila, because in my, you know what, I'm not going to talk about it because we're going to talk about it later. I would probably take Will McDonald. I think Will McDonald is one of those guys that is only going to play like, he's perfect for our team because he can't play the run at all. And we never have him play the run. We have Tank and Parsons and Armstrong and Sam Williams and Golston. We have tons of guys that can put a D in to play the run. But when it's the end of a half, Parsons is going to go right above the center at linebacker, and Will McDonald and Tank might move inside, and they may go Sam Williams, Tank, Osa, Will McDonald, and then Parsons lining up, like moving around at linebacker. Where am I going to come from?
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things. It's like, how do you block it? Like, it feels like it would be really difficult for a quarterback in a 2-minute drill, or they're down by, 17 points and they just can't get run going. They got to throw. It would be death if they got another guy like that. And for the future, Tank's probably a cap casualty after this season. And now
Oh,
Sam Williams takes his spot.
yeah.
You've got Parsons, and Will McDonald becomes your rotational pass rusher.
I don't want to think about a world without Tank, man, because every time I think he's close to being done, he just goes out and makes everybody eat crow.
I think he'll be good another 5 years. I just think that the cap hit is not going to be. They'll likely not want to pay that money.
I thought he was last year. I thought his deal was like 3 years, $30 million. Is that? It's not. He's not getting paid. He's getting paid more than $10 million this year.
I think there's an out after this year for some reason or other, but I'd have to look it up. There's 7 seconds left in Boston versus Atlanta, and it's a tie game.
Oh,
how crazy is that?
This is, man, and playoff basketball is one of the few times where I wish I had cable television.
It's fun to just throw on.
Let's see, Jason Garrett here. I like Tippmann, and he and Biotish know each other from their Wisconsin ties. Hey,
I like him too. He's another non-power guy though. Like he's not Avila or Torrance or Bergeron, who are the 3 that I really want to be the left. Well, we're going to talk about it because honestly, I want somebody else completely to be the left guard, but we'll get into it.
All right, Jason Garrett, everybody else in the audience, the discussion that started this podcast, guys, it's going to be our 4th annual mock draft. And full exposure here, guys, this is going to be very Mike heavy. I mentioned earlier on Twitter, I haven't done a mock draft prior to the one I did last night in close to 2 months. So I know Mike's been studying a lot of players. He's writing about them. He's going to be, he has a lot more knowledge of the players, and he can go deeper into the players than I could. So this will be very Mike heavy, this segment here, as it should be, because he just knows prospects more than I do anyway. So without further ado, Mike, here we are. It's our mock draft. And for our first-time listeners, what we like to do is we have a dream scenario, a realistic scenario, and our nightmare scenario. So, Mike, without further ado, your first-round pick, your dream pick.
My dream pick is Joey Porter Jr., cornerback, Penn State. I just love him. He is in my top 10. I can't believe there was somebody who just mocked him to us. And I'm like,
really? How?
Well, what it is he's a press man corner that's got to learn from there. That's basically what he does. The thing is he's not going to fit everywhere.
Yeah.
But we have really good teachers, and it would be nice to have a guy that could play some press man.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just his arms and hand length, and like he's just a gross, crazy. Just so you know, Atlanta just hit a 3-pointer to put them up by 2 with 1 second left, 1.8.
Wow. Trey Young, Ice Trey.
Yeah, that's crazy. Sorry. But Joey Porter's just has such long arms. He meets all the Cowboys requirements for corner. He's strong. He has the pedigree. Joey Porter, obviously being his dad, probably a Hall of Fame linebacker, Super Bowl winner. And I just love him. I have him and Devin Witherspoon as the 2 best corners in the draft, and a tier above even Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm.
I just think they could be special with the right coaching, and especially Joey Porter Jr. because he has the size and length and everything.
If he were to fall to us, we draft him. Is he our Trayvon Diggs replacement?
No, I think they still sign Trayvon Diggs, but it gives them a little bit of leverage to go, well, we got Bland and Porter, so we have the makings of a good unit that we can get a veteran, draft another guy. But I think if you go forward with a big money guy in Diggs, a first-round rookie in Porter for the next 5 years, and then Bland, who's got another couple years on his rookie deal,
right?
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, that was another reason I was thinking earlier, Mike. I think this might have been a shower thought, but it's like if we did have 2 first-round picks, you got to think about it. We've got to find a way to re-sign Dak. We got to re-sign CeeDee Lamb. We've got to sign Diggs and Micah Parsons. It's like, man, how do we figure that out? having an additional first round pick, it's like if we can't get a deal done, man, one of these guys can be expendable. It's probably not going to be Micah, obviously. Could it be CD Lamb? Could it be Trayvon Diggs? It's not going to be Dak.
The two things that should be happening right now is they should extend Dak, because once they restructured, that conversation's over. Even if you hate Dak, it's no like hit on you. I'm not saying you're an idiot or anything. Even if you can't stand Dak, we can't win with him. He's going to be here the next few years. Once they restructured, that's just how it is. And him and Lamb's deal should get done right now.
And I mean, at this point, man, if you just don't think we can win with Dak, I really don't know what to say. I know our guy Frankie Kenneth, he might be going to the dark side himself, but I don't know how you can watch football and not think you can win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott. Okay, Mike, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. Please. Let's go.
I was going to say, who's your realistic pick at 26?
My realistic pick is 26. I had to do realistic, what I believe, and I've been saying it for at least a month, maybe 6 weeks or more. They're going to trade back. The Cowboys are going to trade back. So here's my scenario. The Texans take an edge rusher at 2.
Mm-hmm.
At 12, the quarterbacks, the main quarterbacks, Levis, Stroud, Richardson, and Young are all gone. Yeah. So they take a corner, D'Amico Ryans. Let me beef up my defense. And then it comes down to the end of the first. They have pick 33. They want a 5th-year option on Hendon Hooker.
Oh, yeah.
So they give us a call, and they offer us – I had it written down here, all the notes and everything, but it was like 33, 104, and 188 for 26. So we pick up an additional 2 picks. They're both out of the top 100, but we're only dropping back 7 spots.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's a quarterback, instead of 104, they get the 3rd round, but I was just trying to be as realistic trade chart wise as possible. And I believe Dallas trades back. They don't really need anybody they don't need a 5th round option on anybody that's on that back end. Mm-hmm. They'd be fine. And so they're going to go back into the 2nd round, take pick 33, and not make a pick in the 1st round.
How would you feel about that trade?
I would be ecstatic, because I think you'll be able to find what Hyatt, Flowers, Avila. There's so many people that are available there. Deontay Banks, Cam Smith. You could go through O-line, wide receiver, tight end. Darnell Washington might be there at that spot.
Like a pick your poison type of pick right there.
Yeah, so you move back and go, you know what? We have so many guys available right here that we like. Let's pick up a couple more picks later.
Yeah.
So we can add to our team, pick up a quarterback later with an extra pick, get some depth at corner or linebacker, and we still get one of the guys we really like at 33.
How would you feel about Jahmyr Gibbs at pick 33?
I wouldn't hate it. 2nd round. I would not hate that. The 2nd round pick's not bad.
Okay, what about Jalen Hyatt or Zay Flowers? Who do you like there?
I would love either, but I think Zay Flowers is a much better receiver, but I would like Jalen Hyatt for our offense.
Right.
I think adding that type of speed to Cooks and Lamb would be, because Cooks has the ability to get by people, but like Hyatt, you got like Cooks is like, all right, we're gonna play him one-on-one. Damn, he got us. Hyatt's like, we ain't playing that guy one-on-one. We're not gonna play him one-on-one. It reminds me of like the Lakers traded for Beasley, really good 3-point shooter who's been off since he got here. He just hasn't been a good shooter. He just has been off. You're still not leaving him open because he's what he can do if he gets going. So you're gonna keep that guy on him. That's Hyatt. They're going to keep a guy over top. They're not just going to play over and let you throw 8-yard hitches all day, and then we'll call the Kellen Moore offense because Jalen Hyatt will be open all day. They're not going to do that. So I'll take either. I like them both, but I would like Jalen Hyatt for this offense.
All right, Mike, here we are. Your nightmare pick at 26. Who is it?
Nightmare pick is any trade up. I do not want to trade up. I can live with Bijan. I can live with Gibbs. I can live with Mayer. They're good players that are help the team. What we need are the picks Correct. He does run it. Yeah, Hyatt is really fast. We need the picks later on. They want a quarterback. We need a linebacker. We probably need a corner. We probably need a wide receiver. We need to make 8 to 10 picks to fill up this roster. So I'm not trying to trade up.
I got you. Okay, here we are, round 2. Mike, who was your dream pick at 58?
Steve Avila, I believe.
Oh, you think he'll be there?
Dream.
Oh, got you.
We're dreaming. Okay. This is CeeDee Lamb territory. No, I do not.
Okay.
But I also don't believe Joey Porter Jr. will be there either.
I got you.
This is dream scenario. I end up getting my left guard that I would have took at 26.
Right.
It's like Trayvon Diggs.
The CeeDee Lamb, Trayvon Diggs scenario here.
Yes, that is it. So y'all know what Steve Avila is. He's the guard that I would play guard, left guard this year and move to center and let Biotish walk, and he would be my powerhouse center in 2024.
All right, Mike, who is your realistic pick here at 58?
I got 2 realistic picks. The first one is 33 on the trade back.
Gotcha.
That one is Steve Avila because I believe that's who they target in the realistic. And then at 58, I have Tyreek Stevenson, cornerback out of Miami. I think that they want to get a Dan Quinn type size corner. They seen last year when Jordan Love went out, Anthony Brown went out, how they were struggling to just get guys. They were taking guys off the street. They were playing Izzy, from his safety spot at corner. They were bringing veterans in that couldn't run anymore and just let's put them out there for a few snaps in a playoff game. I think they want some depth at corner. So even if they keep Jordan Lewis, I don't know why I said Jordan Love, Jordan Lewis, and they have Bland and Gilmore and Diggs, I think that they may take another cornerback in this draft that they believe could start this year.
It's Tyreek Stevenson. I imagine because you think he's realistic, he's a solid player.
Yeah. Tyreek Stevenson's a day 2 corner. He has the length, size. He has good mobility for that size. He attacks the ball at the catch point. Yeah, he's a Dan Quinn, Al Harris type.
Let's just hopefully not another Nashawn Wright is all I ask for, Mike.
No, I don't know what that was. At least Kelvin Joseph was well, you see the talent, but
right.
no Nashawn Wright. He just can't move well enough.
Okay, and here we are at your pick 58, the nightmare pick.
It'd probably be if it was a running back. I know I said Jamar Gibbs I'd be all right with at 33, but he would be the exception, because he's probably a first-round type talent with his ability. But other than that, there's the second-round guys like Jack Charbonnet and stuff. I'd rather just wait and get a guy 3rd, 4th round.
Roschon Johnson, baby.
Yeah, 3rd, 4th round. That would be at 129. What I want is at 129. I think that's even in my dream scenario. Yeah,
I like that.
129. I want a running back to fall to us.
Okay. Well, Mike, here we are. We're round 3, pick 96.
90.
Pick 90. Excuse me. Here's your dream player there.
Marvin Mims Jr., wide receiver.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Mini Dez. I do not believe he'll make it to 90. He's just too dynamic of a guy, and he plays a lot. He plays a style that shouldn't really work at 5'11", whatever he is, 73 or 81 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But he just goes up and gets the ball well. He plays like this. You throw him screens. He breaks tackles and makes big plays. He goes up and gets the ball in one-on-ones, just throw the 50-50 to him. And he's good on his dig routes because he can snatch the ball in the air and then break a tackle and get big yards out of it. So he plays very Dez-like, but he's just not 6'2", 220. So, will that translate over? Well, at pick 90, I'm willing to take that risk.
Would you take that risk if we traded back, right? We had 33 and 58. Would you take that risk at 58?
It wouldn't be a dream scenario, but I wouldn't hate it. I have Marvin Mims as my 5th best receiver in this draft class.
Oh, okay.
And you could convince me that he's anywhere in that top 5. It would not shock me if by the end of their careers, Marvin Mims Jr. was a better receiver than Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Wow.
I just worry about if he can do what he does.
Yeah.
5'11", 173, when guys like Trayvon Diggs exist, and you got to do it against people like that.
Right. Hey, man, as the game gets faster, these guys are some of these players are getting smaller, man, and the receivers are getting smaller, but they're dynamic. So they're having success in this day and age of the NFL.
It's about widening the field instead of stretching it vertically.
Yeah.
For a lot of teams now.
Right.
And speed and break tackle and stuff like that is what helps that.
Absolutely. Okay, Mike, what is your realistic pick for here at pick 90?
Jacqueline Roy, I believe I'm saying that name right.
Defensive tackle out of Baylor?
LSU.
That's what it is, yeah.
Yeah, yes, and he's been linked to Dallas. I think third round is right around when they want to take a DT. Osa, Neville Gallimore, third round.
Yeah.
Roy, same type. He'd be more of a pass rush type DT. So I wouldn't mind that pick at all. I think there's a lot of upside, and giving him to Dan Quinn sounds great to me.
Sounds great. Okay, Mike, here we are. Nightmare pick at pick 90.
That would be any QB. That's too early for me for the QB. I'm interested in people to replace Cooper Rush, and that's more like 5th, 6th round picks, not third round. Top 100 pick don't need to go to no kicker or quarterback, right?
So, I mean, if they were to take a QB at pick 90, are you thinking, my God, are they really going to try to replace Dak, or what are you thinking there?
No, because the next 3 years they're stuck cap wise. They just are. Their out is going to be at earliest at the 2024 season, and so taking a top 100 pick on a quarterback to waste 2 years at minimum just doesn't make sense because Cooper Rush is signed here for 2 years. So
right.
It would just be a dumb pick to me.
Okay, Mike. Here we are. What pick are we? Here we are, 4th round. And what pick is it?
129.
129. What is your dream scenario?
Roschon Johnson.
Hey, I like it.
Texas. And the reason why is I'm looking at it as like Pollard's the playmaker. I don't know if we keep him past this year or not. But if you look at what they wanted Ezekiel Elliott to be, Roschon Johnson does that. Short yardage, power back. He's probably got a little bit more juice to him than what Zeke has at this point.
Right.
He's also a core special teams player for Texas. Played on all 4, the punt return, the kick return, the defensive both. He just does that stuff that you want a second, third running back to do. And so that would be my guy to fall in the 4th round. Now, for one of the playmakers to replace Pollard going into next year and give Pollard some rest, Tajay Spears, whatever, that's fine too. But Roschon Johnson is like we improved. We went from Pollard Zeke to Pollard Roschon Johnson. We got better on special teams than we would with Zeke. We are at least as good in short yardage, and he's a pretty good pass protector too. Not that it'll be Zeke year 1, but you could see over the next 4 years, he could be that type of back.
I got you. Okay, so who's your realistic pick there at 162?
129.
Oh, sorry, 129.
That's all right. 162. That's the trade guy.
Yeah.
I have 2 4th round realistic picks because of the trade back.
Yeah.
The first one would be DeMarvion Overshown.
Oh, yeah, linebacker, safety guy.
Love him. I really want them to draft this guy. He once was a safety that got bigger and moved to that kind of hybrid safety linebacker.
Right.
And then they realized, hey, this guy has enough athletic ability to rush the passer. And he did that real well too. Now, he gets lost out there, and maybe that's a factor of doing so much, too many things. But, man, would I like Quinn to just be able to get his that type of moldable asset to go with Sam Williams and Micah Parsons. Like, just, hey, you don't know which one of them is going to blitz. You don't know which one of them is going to cover your tight end. you don't know which one's gonna do this, that, or the other, because they could all do so much. So man, I really want him to end up on this team. The other guy was Kendra Miller. That he's been linked to Dallas all the time. TCU running back. They went and saw him a couple times. I think they really like him, and he would be the 129 pick. Overstone would be the 104.
Interesting. So Jason Garrett has a sleeper guy here. Mike, tell me if you've heard of him. Jason Brownlee, Mississippi State wide receiver.
6'3", 200. I would have to look. It doesn't sound familiar, but I would have to go through in my notes. He's definitely productive for sure, and he has the size that Dallas likes. So maybe that's something they get, a Fihoku type, size speed guy they try to develop.
Hey, out of Dak's alma mater, man, you don't see too many guys coming out of there.
No, maybe Dak, he got that list. And Dak goes, I want this guy from my spot because I know I can work and build with him.
Okay, so Mike, here we are with the 5th round pick. Okay, is this pick 162?
Yeah, it sounds somewhere in there. That sounds about right.
Okay. What's your? Oh, wait, we didn't do nightmare for a 4th round pick. Sorry.
I don't have a nightmare anymore just because they're so late.
So far, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so what your dream pick here in the 5th round?
Andrew Voorhees, offensive guard, USC.
Dude, that'd be so ridiculous.
He is a monster that would have been a top 50 pick for sure.
Yeah.
Tore his ACL at the combine, and he'll fall because you're not going to draft a guy very early that is not going to play for you year one. And if you look, that's kind of what happened with Damone Clark, top 50 pick. We ended up getting him because of his spinal fusion surgery.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the same type of thing there. And then my plan would be Voorhees at left guard in 2024, Avila at center, Biotish, who y'all know I love, goes and gets paid to be somewhere else because we're trying to get more powerful.
Yeah.
And that would be my guy, Voorhees.
Man, getting 2 starting linemen in this draft, dude, for 2024 would be amazing.
And 2 linemen that could legitimately say these guys are top 50 guards, like for sure, top 50 interior linemen. And it sets you up for eventually Zach's got to go. And you'll have 2 big name badass guys in there. And with the trade back picking up a couple extra picks, you're able to set that off.
Mike, are you familiar with this chant here? Chi chi ha ha, chi chi ha ha. What does that mean? Is that Jason? Like the
yes, Voorhees.
I got you.
Yep, I like it.
Jason movies are underrated, but at the same time, Jason was never really scared me. It always seemed more about gore than anything than fear with Jason.
I like Jason's because the death scenes. I remember the one where he picked that lady up in the tent and slammed it against the tree until she died. That was always it for me with Jason. It was the death scenes.
I wonder if they'll remake a Jason anytime soon.
Oh yeah. Well, it doesn't cost money, and you make a bunch of money every Halloween. The what do you call it? That friggin' what was that gory movie with the clown? Terrifier. Terrifier made a ton of money.
God. Oh man, dude, he looks so scary, but God, the dialogue and everything else is so bad.
Yeah, you watch it for the death scenes. The death scenes are cool, and the rest of it is like,
Exactly. So Mike, what is your realistic pick here in the 5th round?
Andrew Voorhees. I think this is a spot that they would absolutely do that. Dallas has taken Jalen Smith in the 2nd round when he had no nerve in his leg. We know their history with injury guys. Damone Clark just last year. It's just something they're not afraid to do if they think the value's right. And so I think if Voorhees is there in the 5th round, and it's a possibility, definitely, that they could do that. They may even do Voorhees at like 104 DeMarvion Overshone at 129, and then try to get the running back in the 5th. See who, if Kendra Miller falls or Roshan Johnson falls or Tajay Spears falls or Zach Emmons falls. So they may even go around earlier. But the way I had it, I was like, I would be comfortable taking him in the 5th round.
Man, I would not be mad at all though if they said there's a lot of guys we like, but this guy has the most upside. Let's just go ahead and grab Voorhees here early and let the rest of the draft fall to us.
Yeah, any time in day 3, that's when it's time to get injury guy. It's time to get off the field troubles guy. It's time to get good frame and athletic ability guy that hasn't played the position long, and you need to teach him.
Right.
That's day 3 is the time for that.
Yes, sir. Okay, Mike, if you could pick one player for Dallas to draft, who would it be?
Ooh, Darnell Washington. I truly believe that if he reached his full potential, he could be the best player in this draft. He just is. He could bulk up and be a right tackle. Like, he just could. He may. That might be his future. But he has the athletic testing of a great tight end. So, the way I look at it is, say at 26 they get Darnell Washington. They just go for it. And he never develops into a great wide receiver. Well, you got an elite run blocker and a red zone monster to go with Jake Ferguson and Hendershot, who are your more do the other stuff. Hendershot's the steam guy and everything. If he does develop, you have a more athletic Gronk. Like, you have a absolute killer. So Darnell Washington would be I would be the guy I'd risk. I feel like 26 or a trade back to 33 would be perfect for that.
All right. Well, Mike, here we are with views from the sidelines. I feel like we've discussed a lot of it here. Just to let people know what we were going to discuss is what have you heard the Cowboys are interested in at pick 26? It sounds like a trade back, and then we really have no idea who. But have you heard anything on who do you think they really like there at pick 26 if he were to fall to them?
Mayer, Wright, Avila, Washington, Kincaid, Torrance, or trade back. That would be probably the list.
With that many players, dude, it feels silly not to trade back, man.
Yeah, because I would add Zay Flowers, I would add Hyatt, I would add Jordan Addison, I would add Quentin Johnston, I would add Will McDonald. I would add, if they were knocked out of everything, I wouldn't be surprised if Mazzie Smith was like we traded down to Tennessee and we got the big deal, but the only thing left was Mazzie Smith. But we got him, we like him, and now we have a future first and another couple picks this draft. That type of thing.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't mention Mazzie Smith anywhere in this draft, but how excited would you be about taking him at 33?
He was almost my dream pick at 58. He was almost my dream, but I was like, Avila could. There's no, it wouldn't be a shock. They got Connor Williams. He was supposed to be a top 40 guy at worst. There was talk about him being the end of the first round, and he ended up lasting to them at 50 in the second. There's only 8 more picks.
So which two would you rather have? Would you rather have Mazzie Smith and I forgot who I was going to say, or Mazzie Smith at 33, or Steve Avila and Marvin Mims at 33 and 58?
So it's Mazzie Smith at 33, but who's at 58?
Let me think, because I had somebody and I got too excited, so I forgot.
All right, so it's
I'll say Tipman.
I would rather have the not Mazzie Smith, the Marvin Mims and Steve Avila, because I'm trying to help the offense.
Oh, here's a guy here, Izzy Banaconda, man, a speedster.
Running, yeah, that would work. I would definitely take that kid, and that's around 4th, 5th round. That's when I want him.
Okay, and also let's see, take Bigsby or KJ Miller. Yes, sir.
That's what I'm saying. The sweet spot is day 3 for running backs, for 129 or 60, whatever we said, too.
And it sounds like my next question was, which team should we keep our eye on in our trade back? You mentioned the Titans. Was there anybody else you could think of?
Texans and I think Raiders, because those would be the two teams that are looking to move up to get a 5th-year option on Hendon Hooker.
Man, Texans making a trade to get 3 day one picks. That'd be kind of crazy.
Build up. You want to give D'Amico Ryan stuff, let him get 2 top 12 defenders, and then pick up your quarterback into the first round.
Oh yeah, Hendon Hooker, man. Hey, that'd be a fantastic way to start that rebuild, sir.
Yeah, that would not be bad. I have him as 3rd on my top 5 quarterbacks.
So what you're thinking, probably Jalen Carter, and then one of the top tier cornerbacks, and then Hendon Hooker there in the first round if the Texans were to do something like that?
Well, I would say probably Will Anderson or Tyree Wilson the edge
gotcha.
At 2, and then at 12, Devin Witherspoon or a Joey Porter, and then trade up to 26 and get Hendon Hooker. That's a nice draft right there.
That's pretty nasty, my friend.
Yeah, that's clean.
Okay, Mike, here we are with one word. Now that the draft is here, I'm feeling blank.
Tense.
Ooh.
Because there's not a wrong way, but there's underwhelming ways to do it. And I feel like if we had a great GM, like a great knows how to work the trades and everything, that we could really come out of this draft being pretty special, like a chance to be a special team the next few years. Or we could come out going, we're right in that mix. We'll see how the game falls, but we're right in that Niners Eagles mix. But they have a chance to come out of this like, okay, here we go. This 3-year window could be special.
Yeah, what's interesting, Mike, I had this thought the other day, but we've had so many good drafts in a row. It almost feels like, man, we're due for a bad one, dude.
Tense.
I got you. For me, Mike, now that the draft is here, I'm feeling anxious because I mentioned, we don't know who they're going to take. There's a chance they're going to trade back and, not make a pick on day one, which makes me anxious because this weekend I'm moving. I already don't have cable. I'll be busy all day. So, I'd like to see them make a pick on Thursday night, so I could sit there on the couch and have my snacks and a beer and watch them make a pick. But if not, then I might be having to listen on my, I might have to listen on my earbuds if allowed, or, I might just miss the pick entirely, and that would suck.
No Thursday night pick. Let's get an early Friday pick, and I will text you what the pick is.
I will gladly take one for the team if it's a good pick, Mike. And let's see here, Jason Garrett, the Clapper. I like Dwayne McBride, but they never threw the ball to running backs at UAB. The kid, that kind of worries me. Need a running back that can catch. That's why we have Tony Pollard.
Yeah, Tony, because I was going to say Roshan Johnson's not the receiver either.
Yeah. Okay, Mike, here we are with top 5. We haven't had one of these in a while.
Been a minute.
And, now that we're kicking off the new year, I thought it'd be interesting for us to talk about our goals for the pod, something we've never done or discussed. I mean, of course, I've had things that I'd like to accomplish I've never really discussed with you or anything. Not that I'm hiding them, obviously, but I'm interested to see what your list would be. So start us off with number 5. What are your top 5 goals for the pod in 2023, Mike?
This one's kind of a selfish one, but it just is what it is. I don't want to look so fat on screen. Hey. I need to lose weight. Like, I got to get 20 pounds off, dude. It's
dude, you ain't the only one. I'm Zach Martin 2.0.
I didn't notice you changed the name. It's so good. So good. Oh, if only we were like Catch This Fade and we released our pre-roll.
Yeah.
It would be fun stuff.
Hey, maybe, we've talked about doing that, but maybe I should start recording that and putting that in to give the audience a little taste of our pre-roll discussions.
I say so many bad things in pre-roll. Like, I would get so in trouble in pre-roll. Like, I probably would just be killed if our pre-roll
could StreamYard ban us like we got kicked off a wager wire.
Yeah, very. We got one show with me, and we got kicked off a wager wire.
That's something else.
It's okay.
All right. Hey, there's nothing wrong with wanting to look good for the show, Mike. Nothing wrong at all. For me, I have number 5 is have a guest for every offsides episode, including the playoffs. Our first couple of years, we were very lucky and successful with guests in year 3, man. We had a hard time. People would like commit and they wouldn't get back to me. Sometimes I'd reach out, would get a discussion going, then I'd ask and they'd never respond. They would just ghost me. So, it was a rough year 3, man.
This year with guests was tough. It really was. We had great ones, but week to week it was like, oh, is it going to happen?
Yeah, off season, man, our guests were amazing, but it was just for offsides in particular. It was like, dude, man, nobody wants to jump on with us. It was kind of strange.
Yeah, we'll pick it up this one. We'll get the schedule early and start finding out some people.
Exactly. So number 4 on my list, Mike, I want to have 20 or more people tune in live on a live stream. Like, Jason Garrett joins us every week. Usually it's JJ Tour Let's Go. And then there's I forget. There's another gentleman that's usually with Jason Garrett that joins us. I think it's like JC, I believe his name is, who usually joins us. But it'd be pretty cool to see, double-digit numbers watching with us, commenting and tuning in live, man. I think that'd be pretty cool.
That would be awesome. Our pods would last longer though, because we like to respond to the comments. I would at some point have to go start to not ignore, but kind of look and go, okay, we're flowing with the show here. Where I just like to interact. So look how long this one is, and it's just us and Jason Garrett.
Yeah, I mean, and I think if somebody's taking the time to tune in and watch your show and comment, the least you can do is show them some love or comment at least to 1 or 2 of their comments. You know what I mean?
I agree, 100%.
All right, Mike, what's number 4 on your list?
Number 4 on my list is specifically I want to have Jeff Kavanaugh on.
Ooh.
I love the guy. I love Jeff Kavanaugh. I just think he's just good at this.
Exactly, yeah.
When he just comes on and does a mock draft, you want to watch him. He's that type of special person. And then his platform he uses for hey, love everybody, all right? Therapy.
Exactly, yeah.
He lets everybody in on his battle with dip addiction. He's just a great dude.
He's one of the people, man.
Yeah, I am an enormous fan of his, and I've been on Studio de Jefre, and with his show and stuff, it's hard. His content. He wants to put his content on YouTube, which obviously makes sense. He has a show on the Freak. But I would like to have him on, even if it's just a 30-minute one of the 30-minute episodes where we just talk something Cowboys,
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Him, Jeff Kavanaugh, KT Fun Tweet, shout out to Kevin Turner and Brian Broaddus. They really, I always like the draft, but listening to them talk about players and break them down really took my love for the draft to the next level.
Yeah, I agree. There's a forum of special people. Dane Brugler I would want on. Man. I love Dane. KT God. We've had on.
Dude, I couldn't believe when he came on, bro.
That was great.
Him and Dalton Miller, dude.
I know. I love Dalton. Dalton's so good. Dalton's living the life, dude.
Man,
he's living the life, and he's a beast. One of the nicest humans. Brian Broaddus has been on with Cam a bunch. That guy's on everything. He's my absolute number 1 favorite is Brian Broaddus of all podcasts. And so he would be great. And then there's we all know I love Kyle. I believe we had Kyle on the show, didn't we?
Kyle Yeomans? No.
Yes.
No, we never had Kyle Yeomans on the show.
I think I was on one with him, but maybe it wasn't here.
No, it wasn't.
I'm a big fan of Kyle, and then Aisha Morrison, new to the draft show.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to say the new name because there's another new name that I friggin' know, and I'm blanking.
Is that
and that's it. God, I suck. And then Bobby Belt, the new crew that comes on the draft show, and they're all beasts. And once you're on, you're part of that now.
Yes.
You're the Hellman, the Kavanaugh, the Broaddus, the Kevin Turner. Now Aisha and Zach and Bobby Belt are the new crew. And Dane, of course, who's the godfather for me. I mean, he's a guy.
Absolutely. Okay, Mike, number 3 on your list. No, wait. Did you say you said number 4. What number 3 on
Yeah,
your list?
4 I did. 3 is reach a larger audience like
Okay, of
you.
course. Yeah.
I'd like to get out there to more people and have them interact and have them. And it's happening now. Like we are. It's growing, so
It's
it's great.
growing, yeah. It
But
really
even
is.
more and more, just keep it going.
For me, Mike, man, I don't. This is probably borderline bucket list, but how amazing would it be to have Des Bryant come on as a guest for the for the Cowboys Beef Pod, dude?
Oh, that's a good one. That is a great goal.
Like this easily could have been number 1, but dude, that would be amazing.
I
And he follows you on Twitter, bro.
I was gonna
That's gotta
say,
be cool, dude.
I have that picture in my phone when he followed me. It was like, is this for real? Like I went and looked like this is not the real Des Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn, that's really Des. Yeah, I follow him and he follows me. And the thing that's cool about him, he knows that he's my second favorite player all time about Dallas, but he also knows I keep it real about the last 3 years when people have been like, Des Bryant, come back. I'm like, no, dude, we're not bringing Des Bryant. It's not. It's just not a thing. I love the guy. It's not going to happen. So, yeah, I'd love to get Des on.
Hey, man, crazier things have happened, Mike, but you know what? It never hurts to reach out and just try. You know what I mean?
Maybe I'll have to do that and see if I can get him on.
Yeah. Okay, so number 2 on my list, Mike, I want to have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube by week 1 of the season.
I like it. I think it's very possible. Let's get it down. I'm up for it. That's a good. You see, you notice me. It's like don't look fat on camera, and this guy's all things like goals for the pod, good things for the pod. I'm selfish. Like I want to eat food. I want to be able to eat while I talk.
No, but you know what? You're the brains of the podcast, Mike. And then if you lose those 20 pounds, and then you're like the looks of the podcast, that'd go pretty far, Mike.
I don't think I can get past the Zach Martin 2.0, dude. I can't do it. I'm not matching that.
Dude, this beard, I mean, honestly, I of course I need to lose at least 20 pounds myself, but the beard, like when it is this thick, it does not help.
That the hair though, the hair is just screams Zach Martin. I don't know why, but when I saw it, I instantly was like, "You're Zach Martin, dude."
You know what? I don't think Zach Martin's a bad looking guy, so I really do take that as a compliment.
He is not. He's the captain for a reason.
Yes, sir. All right, Mike, number 2 on your list.
Number 2 on my list is make people appreciate what you do more and try to help to that end. People come on and I'm always because I'm the guy that talks 90% of the show.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh yeah, Mike. Oh yeah, across the country. Oh, Mike. Yeah. He comes on, he knows his stuff. Paul says it all the time. That's the guy. I only talk, guys. Guests, show sheet, the timing of the show, like everything it takes to make a podcast is all Paul. I don't even help. And he has a job as I do. He has family. He does you could literally get anyone with knowledge that could talk to do my job. Anyone could. All they got to be able to do is talk and know what they're talking about. Paul is the key to. There is no show without Paul. When Paul missed a show, I'm just going to say this straight out. Paul missed a show, and he was like, "Do you think you can handle this show by yourself?" And by that end of that day, we did not have it. We did not go on. I could not get on the air, and we had to do it later on in the week, and we ended up doing it. But people think it's the guy that talks and he knows each draft pick and he knows the offense or what. Nah, dude, there ain't no podcast without Paul. He does every guest that comes on. Like the Des thing. I need to do that to help more. And it's like, I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it. Where Paul, if it was the other way, Paul would be every week that, hey, can you come on? Hey, I don't want to bug you, man. I'm sorry, but we really would love to have you on. Hey, check this out. Here's a link to our thing. Watch it. If you think it's cool, come on. And he gets people like Kevin Turner and Dalton Miller. And he gets these guys. Him and LP worked. Tad Prescott got on because of you and LP doing your thing. Like, he is the show. I just talk a lot.
Well, Mike, I appreciate the high praise, man. And without you, there's definitely no show, of course. But I will say, don't sell yourself short, because remember, you did an episode. It was you and Not to Be Trite. For whatever reason, I ended up missing that episode. And you took the charge there. You took the lead there, and y'all had a really good episode. But I could tell, like, I remember listening to it, and you were just like, so I hate to say unsure of yourself, but that's really what it was like. Is you're like, I don't know how he does this, man, without Paul. Like, man, I don't know. It's like you were not comfortable at all.
I'm not good at structure. You literally structure everything, and I just talk. All I have to do is come in and go, what's the next thing? All right, I'm going to yap 5 minutes about that. It makes it like so easy to be on a podcast when somebody does 95% of the work, and then you get to talk 95% of the time.
It's a perfect balance, in my opinion, Mike. I think I've said this several times, but we never share, like, we've never shared our answers with each other. We've never, like, we've never met in real life, but we somehow have this chemistry that's been, here we are year 4 and we've never even met.
Yeah, it's funny because people think we've been friends for forever just from us being on here. And I'm like, I never met Paul. We see each other to this. He lives in Texas. I'm in Texas.
Yeah, Tejas.
Texas,
my friend. Yeah.
And I live in California, and it's just, we both ain't got that kind of money.
Right. Maybe one day, man. That's a goal for sure.
For sure. That is like goal 1. That would be amazing. I don't want you to think that I don't appreciate what you do to give me a platform to speak. Because that's basically what it is. You give me a platform to talk to Cowboys Nation through your hard work. And I don't ever want you to sit there and go, as many times as everything I do for him, he misses this date or he does this or that. And all, you can get anybody to come on and talk. All they got to do is be able to come on and talk and be informative. Yeah. There is no podcast if you're switched out. So I just hope people realize that.
I sure do appreciate that, man. I can't thank you enough. That made my day, sir. That toothache is hurting a little less, my friend.
Oh, I'm a little bit of Oragel.
So, Mike, here we are. Number 1. What's number 1 on your list?
Number 1 is continue to love it.
Oh, man.
I love this. Like, how many times have we've had? I mean, you had it today. You've had a shit day. It's just been busy. So there's been times where it's just been hard. And we just get on and start talking Cowboys. And by the end of the podcast, it's just been a better day. It's like, all right, yeah. I'm ready to get going. And I just 4 years in, and I'm not joking to you. It feels like we've done it for a year. I'm not even, that's not a made up exact. It feels like it's been a year because it's gone. It's like, damn, 4 years. I just flew by. And we don't take breaks. We do all off season, all the way through. And it just flies by. It's so much fun. I love it. So my number 1 goal is to just continue to love doing it.
It's funny you say that because, I mean, we started this podcast during COVID, man. And that was, you talk about therapeutic, dude. The other day I was sitting here, I was at home, and we hadn't recorded. I think it's been like maybe 2 weeks prior to today. And I'm like, man, I haven't been recording fantasy. I haven't done a Cowboy show in a while. It's like, it made me realize how therapeutic the show is. How not only do I love it, but it's like, it does something for me, man. I'm like, today you mentioned I had a crappy day. I almost was like, dude, can we postpone till tomorrow? But I was like, no, I'm going to push through. And here we are at the end of the episode, dude. And I feel fantastic, bro.
And we don't normally go this long, but we knew mock draft and everything. It was good for the draft and an anniversary show. But it's like an hour and a half flew by. It honestly, I looked up, and when we started the mock draft, it was like 48 minutes. And I was like, where the hell did the 48 minutes go?
Yeah, exactly. And we didn't even talk about food.
I know. It's crazy.
Okay, Mike. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. But number 1 on my list, sir, I want us to earn enough money on the podcast, dude, that we can send you to Disneyland, my friend.
Oh, how nice is that? That would be us. The goal should be
wow.
your family and me and maybe Mitchell or whatever go down there and we just
Gotta bring quiet, bro.
Across the Cowboys podcast Disneyland trip, and we post everything and yeah, that would be sick as hell, man.
Dude, to be in Disneyland and for us to share that first churro, to have that first churro, man, that'd be something else. That'd be like life coming full circle, dude.
I know, bro. And we just get the regular, the basic. You got to try the basic one first because then you get the appreciation of the other churros.
Man, I've seen so many churro picks, dude. It's like, man, I want to ask you what's been your favorite one, but that's like an impossible question.
No, the Fluffernutter churro, dude.
Oh, still.
That peach cobbler one was great.
Yeah.
But the Fluffernutter churros, that marshmallow peanut butter like mixture just is so good.
Dude, I was thinking about making that a dessert pizza. Marshmallow fluff, like peanut butter. I didn't know what else I could add to it, but I was like, that would be kind of an interesting pizza, dude.
Yeah, make a marshmallow peanut butter sauce. Use the marshmallow fluff and make a peanut butter sauce, and then top it with chocolate chips and white chocolate chips.
Oh, wow. You don't think that'd be too sweet?
No, the peanut butter sauce should mellow it out a little bit and make the chocolate like dark.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or bitter, something that
semi-sweet or something.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah, because I was thinking about the marshmallow fluff could be the base.
Yeah, definitely.
But then I don't know how I could incorporate the peanut butter. So maybe a peanut butter sauce would be the better way. Oh, yeah. All right, we're starting to talk about food, Mike. We better get out of here. It's been an hour and a half, my friend.
Well, happy anniversary.
Dude, 4 years, brother. And, man, I cannot tell you how much better I feel, dude. I feel amazing, man. It's always a pleasure, Mike. 4 years strong. Thursday night.
Yeah, come on, wrap it up. We got to go. No, just...
Mike, as always, man, it's a pleasure, sir. Before we get you out of here, remind the people where they can find you on Twitter.
At CD Piglet, guys. Letter C, letter D, Piglet. Nice and easy.
Jason Garrett, man, thank you so much for always supporting us, man, and for joining the show, dude. It means more than you know. It means more than I can say. But guys, I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.
He kind of makes me feel bad for how much